Hello there, my name is Christopher Hafler, and this is my final project for Modern Learning Environments at Ramapo College of New Jersey in the fall 2020 semester. This final project is a comprehensive map and geography unit that was created using the backwards design model. It is aligned for second grade New Jersey student learning standards, but can also be aligned to Common Core curriculum standards. The unit is planned so that all lessons are to be taught virtually, but it is easy to adapt for face-to-face instruction as well. As you can see, my webpage begins at my Master's of Science for Educational Technology portfolio page. Once there, you can go to the page for Modern Learning Environments, and then click on the tab for Final. Here you'll find the final exam, which includes this unit. Starting with the introduction page, I'm going to explain each page of the website. The introduction page is set up so that students can navigate here and know exactly what they're going to learn throughout the unit. The unit plan is also found at the bottom of this page. The next page is the Lesson 1 page. Lesson 1 is a lesson on location, which includes cardinal and intermediate directions, as well as relative and absolute location. The first part of the page shows read aloud and teacher-created podcasts or videos. The read aloud is of the story Me on the Map by Joan Sweeney. I've posted that read aloud on each lesson page of this website. The podcast that I created for this is Absolute and Relative Location, and there's a video called Cardinal and Intermediate Directions. The links are located right there, and the YouTube pages are embedded for that as well. Next, you'll see that there's resources that will be used and assigned during class, as well as supplemental resources and videos that students can see at the bottom. The zoo activity that's going to be completed during this lesson is a good use of TPAC because students will collaborate with one another while using different technological platforms to solve problems. Included with the supplemental resources and videos is a page called Videos, where there are different videos that show more topics on what we're learning in the classroom. These are videos I've compiled from sites such as YouTube, so students may find them in one place. Next is my Lesson 2 page, which is titled Grid Maps. As you'll see as I scroll through, each lesson page is set up the same, where it starts off with the read aloud and teacher-created podcasts or videos, then goes into the resources that will be assigned during class, and then supplemental resources and videos. So here we have my grid maps lesson. Students can see a video on how to use grid maps, and they'll be completing a character and grid map activity, which is a great way for them to connect this topic with something that they might have already known about or be interested in. The next page is Lesson 3, which is a 2-day lesson on how to use the parts of a map. Included in this lesson is a bedroom map that students will have to complete. The bedroom map allows students to create something and is a good example of sense and meaning because they will be drawing a map of their own bedroom, which is very personal to them. The next lesson is Lesson 4, which is on Earth. The Earth lesson includes many different topics: continents and oceans, the equator and prime meridian, latitude and longitude lines, as well as the globe. In this lesson, we will also use Google Earth for students to get a good view of the globe since they don't have a physical globe to access at home. Unfortunately, they won't be able to touch it and feel it, but they will be able to see it on Google Earth. During this lesson, students are also going to be given a chance to draw and color with one or more of the activities, which research shows is a great way for students to transfer their information to their memory. There will also be a few chances for musically minded students to show off their musical intelligence while learning songs. And again, you can see resources and supplemental resources. The next page is Lesson 5, which is on landforms and bodies of water. This is a 4-day lesson in which kinesthetic learners will really shine when doing the My Perfect Island activity. They will have to solve a problem in which they plan out an island and get to actually build the island. They will build the island using some materials that were sent to them prior to the beginning of the unit. They will actually receive a few different materials prior to the beginning of the unit and resources that they can use in person. This activity has been created with the SAMR model in mind because it went from just a regular classroom activity to something where they have to present to the class and teach them something. And just like the other pages, this includes different resources and videos as well. Lesson 6 is on physical and political maps. It's a 2-day lesson, and students will have an opportunity to examine more kinds of maps, including political maps that show borders of the United States of America and different countries, and they will also utilize Google Earth a little more. And of course, there's a podcast here, which is great for auditory learners because as they listen, they're definitely understanding what they're listening to if they're auditory learners. The next page is the list of unit assessments. There are 3 unit assessment choices. The first is an edible physical map project in which students will create an edible physical map, and they will have to create all different parts of a map. There's a vocabulary component as well as a video component and presentation. The unit assessment choice 2 is a town map project where students are creating a town map on Google Slides. This includes similar components to the last one because they will have to do some ELA components, and then they will also have to make a video. The third unit assessment choice is a written option. Students will be allowed to create either a song, a poem, or a rap, which will then have to be presented as well. All the presentations that students create will be posted to Flipgrid, and students will be given an opportunity to comment on their fellow students' projects. The unit assessment should take about 4 to 5 days at the end of the unit, and that will bring the total number of days for the unit to approximately 20, depending on the teacher and how quickly they move. Next, there's a credits page, which gives the sources for the research that was conducted on brain and pedagogy, as well as the sources for the projects and worksheets that I did not create. Those I created do not have any sources. The final page of the website is a teacher page. Here, teachers can see different suggestions that I've made for how to go about teaching this, and they can also see where my research comes from. All the lesson plans are listed here, as well as another copy of the unit plan. I've also included potential accommodations and modifications for students who are gifted, as well as students who have IEPs, 504 plans, who are English language learners. Thank you for watching my presentation on my final unit assessment.